Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sandra's Sisterhood. I'm Carrie, and this is a YouTube channel for the single, childless woman. Today, I have a serious lip on because we're talking about a serious topic. And the video today is coping when the grief is tough and you don't have a support person available. So, I'm going to go through 3 strategies to cope when you're feeling like this. Number one is to really focus on strategies that distract. Getting a break from the intensity in the moment in particular can be just as important as processing your feelings and processing your grief at a later date. So, things that don't take a lot of energy, things that don't take a lot of concentration, if things that take too much of that, you're likely to put down and your brain won't be able to latch onto it. But we want some of those kind of low concentration things that will engage your brain enough to distract it. So, whether it's some easy reading, magazines, listening to podcasts, listening to TV shows, watching TV shows, particularly ones that you've seen before and you know that you like, maybe even watching YouTube videos, right? Things that are going to be able to take up some of that brain space. For me, some of the phone games do that well for me, particularly since I can do that anywhere. Number two, remember small steps matter. So your coping doesn't always have to be this big grand thing. Sometimes it's just getting through the next minute and then trying to get through the next minute and the next minute after that. They also can be really short bursts of things. So maybe you go for a walk. Maybe you go for a drive. If you're going for a drive, maybe you combine it with listening to the podcast or um, an audiobook or listening to music. Another option, things that I think we used to do a lot more, but maybe you go to a movie. It's dark, your brain will be occupied, but you also don't have to engage with anybody or really talk to anybody if you're not up for it. Number three, remind yourself your grief is real and it's justifiable. You can appreciate all that you have while also being pissed as hell that you're childless, not by choice. I think sometimes when grief starts to come through, some of the ways in which people cope is kind of reminding themselves of everything they have to be thankful for, which can be a good mindset shift. And I also think it's important to recognize that you can be grateful for things and you can be upset and sad and pissed off at the same time. It's you don't have to choose one or the other on that. The difference is that we want to make sure that you don't get stuck in some of those harder feelings. Uh, Again, your grief is very real, and it's not your responsibility to make everyone around you comfortable by hiding your grief or not talking about your grief or not acknowledging it. I think a lot of us, because a lot of our grief is invisible, it feels like a burden. It feels like we would upset others, particularly if we know that they feel sad for us. And I think because sometimes we know that they may not know what to say. But again, that's not your responsibility. They or those people have the responsibility to manage that for themselves. Okay. Again, your grief is justifiable and it's not your job to make everybody around you comfy. Sometimes, when you're feeling like that, or it just feels too hard to reach out, journaling about your feelings can be a helpful alternative. You want to be careful with this. Some people journal about their feelings and it feels like they ramp themselves up, and other people, it's really cathartic. One trick to try if you're somebody where you can ramp yourself up doing that, is have kind of a standard way that you're going to end your journaling that creates an ending or a closure instead of journaling that just keeps open ended at the end. So maybe it's, I feel this way, and now I know that I'm going to be okay. I have people that love me. That's just sort of something to think about, but you'll think of something that feels maybe more authentic or genuine for you. All those things are true, but you also want it to feel genuine and authentic and in your voice. So, again, one is distraction. Two, small steps matter. If Going for a walk, you don't really feel like doing it, but maybe you do it for 3 minutes. That's better than nothing. Sometimes I have my dog, we go the short loop, right? I know I should probably get out and just change my environment for a second. So I take a real quick walk and it helps. And three, your grief is real and justifiable, and allow yourself to experience that versus getting in this loop where you tell yourself you don't deserve to feel this way. And then again, journaling can be helpful. And then journaling with creating an ending can even be a little added tip there. Uh, just want to throw this out there. When you're in this space, avoid mind altering substances, alcohol, marijuana. I'm in Colorado, so I feel like I need to say that because again, those the alcohol is a depressant and can make you feel worse more long term, and it can also really dysregulate your sleep. So, couple of suggestions to use when the grief is feeling really thick, it's feeling really tough, you need to cope, but you're not sure anybody is available. Come back to Saunders Sisterhood for more content for the single and childless, not by choice woman.